Good morning. Welcome to the Celtic Way Morning Briefing Live. I'm Tony Haggerty at Haggerty10 on the Twitter handle, and I'm joined today by Ryan McGinlay at the Ryan McGinlay on his Twitter handle. I take a day off, Ryan. Anything happen I should be aware of?
That's that. The young team are in
The
charge.
young
That's
team
that.
taking charge. Excellent. Great. Of all days, eh? But there you go. Anyway, we're not going to focus on any negativity. Cup final fever, Ryan.
Talk
Treble
about.
yell. They cry more, more, more for those Billy Idol fans out there. Let's talk association football. Celtic playing in the Scottish Cup final, the SFA Association Football's Cup final, the climax to the season. Anyway, how are you, Ryan? You good?
I'm good. I'm excited for the game tomorrow. There's been a lot of talk this week. We won't get into that. We talked about it enough yesterday. We all know the score or what's getting reported in the media. But it's all about Celtic at the weekend. All about a potential treble. Eighth treble is nearly there. It's nearly in the bag. We just need to go out and show why we deserve to have that accolade put next to our name.
First things first, indeed, Ryan. Come back to that. First things first, guys. Strapline running along the bottom. Subscribe to the Celtic Way website and support top quality journalism, top quality football journalism, covering the club you love. All you have to do is click that button, www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. That's www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. Thank you to everybody that has subscribed. Thanks to all the comments and contributors. Good morning to you all. I hope you're feeling well. Fantastic Friday. Hopefully, it's a super Saturday. Yes, as Ryan said there, an eighth domestic treble up for grabs. It would be a world record. No team in association football in any league in any part of the world has won 8 domestic clean sweeps. Ryan, that's what Celtic are going for tomorrow. That's what everybody hopes happens. Lots of wild predictions at Celtic. It'll be a landslide victory for Celtic. I never ever think like that. Just get the job done, be clinical and be professional. Everything points to a Celtic win. Turn up, make it happen, and everybody can, as the manager said, go about their business on Saturday night and celebrate everything that's wonderful about Celtic.
Yeah, it's all set up for what should be a really good night if the Celtic play the way that we know they can play. If they play anything like last week, that should be the case. It should be a routine sort of victory. Not to downplay the opponents, but obviously they're in the lower league than the Championship. Celtic are expected to win this game. They are the landslide favourites, and I would expect them to beat them comfortably. But it's a cup final. It's 11v11, and at the end of the day, you never know what can happen on the park. Strange things have happened. We know even with Inverness in the past, strange things have happened. We've certainly got a history with that club, so yeah, it's one of those games that 5:30 under the lights at Hampden. It's going to be. It could still be bright. There might not even be lights at that point. Maybe lights later on in the second half or extra time if that even happened, which would be a nightmare in itself. But yeah, it's all set up to be a really really special night at Hampden, and I'm really looking forward to watching it.
I get my name in lights, Ryan, today in the P&J up north, pressing gin on Inverness. The wonderful journalist that is Paul Chalk. I'll give my name check. Wonderful fella, good friend of mine through the years, covering all the clubs in the Highlands, Inverness, Ross County, Aberdeen, and he asked me to write from a Celtic point of view, but giving it an Inverness slant, and that was I wrote about the unwanted treble that Celtic have against Inverness. John Barnes in 2000, Mark O'Neill in 2003, and Ronnie Dyle in 2015. And he was very grateful for that. And even building his Tony Haggerty of the Celtic way, naming lights in the P&J. It doesn't career highs, Ryan, as you're picking them as you go along. But yeah, he was happy with that. So I'll see Paul tomorrow. Looking forward to that. But yeah, that is what you have to guard against, Ryan. I would assume John Barnes, Matt O'Neill, and Ronnie Dyer would have thought that they would beat Inverness in those games. It didn't happen. So there is history there. And if you know your history, you have to learn from that. But I'm sure Ange will have learned from that. He was talking the other week that he was told about those games. So he'll have the players well drilled. And yeah, as far as you look and you see, you don't see the a mighty cup upset happening, but we didn't see it happening in 2000, 2003 and 2015. So the warning signs are there, but you are confident in this manager and players to deliver, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely, and we've got the proof. The proof is in the pudding of the past 2 years. You look at the maintaining consistency that we've had under this manager. It's the standards have been set. The standards have been heightened under this manager. You would say the levels that Celtic are playing at are unlike anything I've probably seen in my Celtic supporting life. I mean, I was a bit too young for the sort of Martin O'Neill days. Gordon Strachan's a wee bit different. The closest I've got is basically Brendan Rodgers, but I think this is a level up from the football that we were playing under him. It just seems more streamlined for the Scottish game. It seems more effective the way that we play and the way we come up against opposition. So yeah, I mean, just the way that we play, I've got every confidence that Celtic can go out and do the business, as I would for any team. I'd feel the same if we were playing against a Rangers, a Hearts, Aberdeen. I'm still going to be confident in my team just because I've got the proof and the way that the team has played over the course of this season and last season. I'm always going to be confident going into these games, and even more so when you're playing against a championship team. But we can't. Celtic won't be taking that into consideration. I think they'll be like, it's the same as every other team that we come up against. We've got to play. We've got to earn the right to win. You can't just turn up and just expect to roll over a team. Go out and play our football, and that should take us to where we need to go.
Just had 5 comments, Ryan. I'll flick them up. Beach Boys, morning Beach Boys, how you doing? Inverness are not even a top championship team and I've not played for over 3 weeks. This is a one game where it could get embarrassing with a scoreline. Lots of confidence from the Celtic supporters, yeah. Gordon Coney, morning lads, hope all's well. No disrespect to Inverness, but tomorrow's the day Celtic hit double digits. That's bold in the extreme. Derek Crawford, morning Derek. Lightning doesn't strike twice. In this case, it would be 4 times. And as I said in my piece in the P&J, what's the dodge on that happening, Ryan? 4 times, you know what I mean? And I used the word dodge deliberately, obviously. O'Hamden in the sun, another treble and a record-breaking 8th win. Come on, you boys in green, says John Boy 1888. And Marky, morning John, how you doing, Marky? Morning, Mark. Definitely confident Aris Cali fans, looking forward to it. Some wild predictions in amongst that lot, Ryan. But there you go. It is what it is. Celtic are in confident mood. Andrew Gallia, morning Andrew. Once we get in front, I hope we don't stop pile on the goals. 10-0, he says. Marky saying Celtic shop, Celtic win. That's basically the thrust of all our thoughts, Ryan, isn't it? But are you taking Michael Ross? Celtic owe them a serious doing, and I think he's referring to the games that I've spoken about, Ryan. So, are you buying all this double digits talk, Ryan?
I'll settle for half the goals that people are predicting. To be honest, I in another sort of in a podcast I was doing last night, I predicted 5-0. I mean, I know it's a cup final, but on the other hand, you've got to expect Celtic to come up. We put 5 past the first third place team in the country last week, so you know it's a big park. A lot of things are going against Inverness as well. They've not played in 28 days. I know they've had a couple of friendlies here and there. It's nothing like the real thing. That can work for you, it can work against you, but I just think the fitness levels will come through in the second half, and you'll see a rampant Celtic looking for more goals and looking for a sort of a showpiece score in a showpiece game, which would be absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I'll take the 5. Thank you very much.
Over 4.5 goals, Derek says a good bet. It probably certainly is, but if you're going to bet responsibly, guys, if that's your bag, you do that. Paul McGarry, morning from Ireland. Morning, Paul. Great way to start a Friday. Tony and Ryan, 2 top Celtic men whose conversation about a great club is so uplifting. That's very kind, Paul. Thank you. Good morning. Hope everything's well in Ireland. Yeah, there you go, Ryan. Yes,
it's I don't think you tuned. I don't think you tuned in yesterday.
It's wonderful to think that people out there think so highly of you. No, nothing's. You know, you can't not be happy when you're talking about the club you love. And for anybody that's wondering, we're concentrating on the cup final tomorrow. There's lots of background noise. Not that we've ignored that you guys.
It's all noise. It's noise just now. There's plenty of noise around Celtic.
Exactly. Plenty of noise. There's been plenty of noise around Celtic for the past 2 years. It never changes, does it? So yeah, and I think that's the big thing about tomorrow, Ryan. There's an expectation amongst the Celtic fans tomorrow about turning up and and actually doing what the lyrics of the song says, piling on the agony and turning on the style. I think Celtic supporters want to see that, which is why there are these double digits predictions. Fine, Inverness might have something to say about that, but I think if Celtic do turn up, as you say, and bring their A game, it could be a wonderful climax to the season and a showpiece occasion, and it could be a wonderful day.
Yeah. As long as Celtic go and do their business, I think it will be a wonderful day, despite any scoreline that comes. As long as Celtic are winning the trophy at the end of the day, it would be a great day. Any other any other possibility would be an absolute nightmare, and I would dread coming on the Monday briefing if that was the case. But yeah, I don't think that will happen. I'm pretty confident in what Celtic can do, and if they turn up and play to their best ability, then the result should take care of itself. We've got loads and loads of good professionals in that team that know what's at stake, that know that history is in the making, and I think they'll be all out. I think last Saturday was a bit of a dress rehearsal for this weekend. They were getting ready for the showpiece event, and they wanted to put on a show last week, and I think they'll do similar tomorrow. I'm really, really looking forward to watching this team, and I think they'll go all out to do the business.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I think that'll be drummed into them that they've got a chance to make history, but also make history in style. Plunge McNugget comes in, whatever the score is, Celtic won't get any credit for winning a world record treble. They'll get credit from us, and all the Celtic supporters will acknowledge the achievement. Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Marquis watched Inverness Scottish Cup run highlights, scored some cracking goals, so they might be good for one at least if Celtic's defence isn't on fire, but you'd fancy Celtic to outscore them anyway. Hazel Finn, morning Hazel, how you doing? Inverness won't lie down, confident but old enough to remember all the other losses. Hope the recent press doesn't affect the team. Come on, Celtic. Tim Anon says, got one ticket between him and his son, so his son gets to go to his first final while he waits outside. Tim Anon, I applaud that. I think that's wonderful.
He's a better man than I would be, that's for sure.
10-0 to the Hoops. Kaiser straight in, and Andrew Gillier saying Inverness weren't even the best team in the semi-final. He thought they were poor. I'll give you a quick story about tickets. I was working at St Mirren Dundee the day Celtic stopped 10 in a row. Wim Janssen's team, 98. My father and brother went to Celtic Park and could only get one ticket. And I thought my dad was getting really worked up about the fact that Rangers could overtake Johnston's record. Johnston's his hero, managerial hero, all that kind of stuff. And so they got one ticket. Now, bearing in mind the state and nature of my dad, he's better at football matches because he's a captive audience. And so my brother, I believe they tossed a coin for it, and my father lost. So he sat in the car park at the Forge whilst my brother went. Now, if that's me, I hand the ticket to my dad. I'm sorry, he'll be better in there. I want him to be in there and, be safe. But my brother took the ticket and he went. I couldn't believe it, Ryan. I still argue the toss with him to this day. I was like, how could you do that to a guy who was just like, he was beside himself about this, and I still dig him up about it. So, Tim and I know exactly where you're coming from on that, but needless to say, my father said eventually when Harold Blackback scored, he sank to his knees in the McDonald's car park at the Forge, and he wasn't alone. Car doors just started slamming and everybody running about with their hair on fire. So yeah, I know exactly where Tim and I's come from. I hope your son enjoys it. I'm sure he will. Celtic will turn up and play to the best of their ability. Team-wise, Ryan, the manager, hinted at those who, didn't hint, told us yesterday about those who were not ruled out definitely, and those who are possibly in the side. Kyogo being the big one, but as he's alluded to before, he's played with one leg injured in a final, and he would do it again probably. So that's the big one, isn't it? Kyogo or O to start, I guess, without too much plot spoilers for your predicted 11. Are you going Kyogo or O?
Yeah, it's a tough one because Kyogo will be desperate to play. You know that he will be absolutely desperate. Andrew was saying he's pretty bullish. He was wanting Celtic. He was wanting Kyogo to sort of prove to him. I mean, he'll be in group training today, so he's been training individually, so that's not been ideal preparation for the cup final. But I think out of the two of them, for me, I would start O. I mean, if I fully fit, I know Kyogo will be desperate to play, but O has scored 3 goals in 2 games. He's really made a good impression, and I'd much rather have a fully fit striker up front, regardless of who the opposition is. I'd much rather have a fully fit striker than someone who's half fit, and you don't want to jeopardise him. I know it's the last game of the season, but you don't want to get any injuries that'll further aggravate the sort of knock that he's got. I mean, if Kyogo is fully fit, I'd expect him to start, but if he isn't 100%, then I would be playing O in this game.
Oh, I'll overrule you and say Kyogo. Every day of the week and twice on Sunday. That has to be Kyogo. Only because I've tipped him to score 36 goals, Ryan, and I want him to get a cup final hat-trick. That would take him to 36. So, and that would please your old dad here. But yeah, I listen. It's a big call, but I think Kyogo will feature. I've got to be honest. So, I think he'll get the nod over O. But needless to say, if he's done his job by 45, 50 minutes, he can always take him off, can't he?
Yeah, that's the thing. If he went and scored 2 or 3 goals before half time, I wouldn't be against him just coming off and then bringing O on to the park. I mean, that'd be great, 45 minutes, and bringing on a really hungry striker. That's what's really impressed me about O over the past couple of weeks. He's looked hungry every time he's came on. He's desperate to make, and he's desperate to make an impression, and he seems to be happy with his role just now, which I don't think was maybe the case with Giakoumakis. I think he was happy coming off the bench. He wanted to be sort of the main man. And I know Giakoumakis done a really good job at Celtic, but O seems to, he's biding his time in this team. He's using the minutes quite well when he comes on. He's making an impression, and I've got no doubt in the next couple of years he'll be staking a claim to be the starter for Celtic. I've been really, really impressed with him over the past couple of weeks, and I think there's definitely more to come. And if he's starting or if he comes off the bench, I think he's got a part to play in this game.
Mad Dog says Kyogo fit. What did Ange say? Ange said he hadn't trained all week, but he would maybe possibly train today. And the decision would be made on him, didn't
he? Yeah, he says he's going to get. He's going to be training. He's going to be tried with the team in terms of training tomorrow or training today rather. But a final decision will be made on him.
Guys, what's your thoughts? You think Kyogo will play or O coming in? Andrew Galea, Kyogo really plays 90 minutes, makes his goal scoring record even better. It does indeed. Marquis, agreeing with you that O's got a big part to play. He's predicting he'll be next season's top scorer. And Derek Crawford fitness test today, apparently. Yeah, I think that's what Angela alluded to, didn't he? And so we'll see. Hazel Finn, Kyogo will play in one leg. Agree, would love to see he'll get a good run. No worries if he's on. Yep, no worries. I'm easy Ozzy about that because I think they're both excellent strikers, but I just think it's the last game of the season. Kyogo, try and keep him away from that, as Ange said after the League Cup final. He had one leg, try to tell him he wasn't going on the park was a no-no. So I just think coming on, Kyogo wasn't fit against Hibs and he scored twice. He'll feature. Yeah, there you go.
Probably will. He probably will, to be honest. I just think I'd much rather have a fully fit striker playing. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I would do that. I would say that towards any opposition, to be honest. But I just think O has the potential to run riot tomorrow if he's given the chance.
Kyogo hat-trick in the first half, he reckons. Yep, and then take him off, Patrick. 36. That's it, sorted. Love it. I'm a big fan of that, Patrick. That's exactly how
I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Anything you can do, I can do. Basically, with Kyogo and O, because at the weekend Kyogo scored 2 goals. He came off around about the 55th minute. O comes on and scores twice. I love that. He's already trying to match. He's sort of superior in terms of always trying to match. He's superior in terms of the first choice striker. I like to see that. And it shows that he's really hungry and up for the battle. But regardless of who plays up front, I think we're in a really, really strong position. I don't think we've been as strong since maybe Dembele and Edward, to be honest.
Yep, agree that. That's actually
Griffiths too as well, obviously.
That's decent strike force. No, I'm happy with the strike force. I really am. If Kyogo's not 100%, they don't want to gamble with his fitness, so be it then. That's the call that the manager makes. But I still think he'll play because he's his man, isn't he? And he will definitely feature. I think tomorrow, Kyogo. I just think that it's maybe not as bad as feared, but they're giving him every chance to just heal. Can see a high scoring game, says in transit. They will be well up for it. Kyogo hat trick. Helen Featstein, same team as last week, no problem. Does the rest of the team pick itself, Ryan? Or are you see many tweaks? Or do you think that last week kind of dress rehearsal, as they say?
I've got to say, I think that the defence will be the same as last week, and the midfield, to be fair. I think Iwata looked a lot more composed in that defence, especially alongside Alistair Johnston. It seemed as if Alistair Johnston was giving him space, whereas in the game before, Ralston was kind of getting in his way. You've seen that with the problem with the first St Mirren goal, the two getting each other's way, whereas Alistair Johnston's spacing is a lot better, which gives Iwata the time to pass. So Iwata's a really good passer of the ball. You can see that he's composed on the ball. That's why he's in there. And you'll have that sort of pure defender next to him in terms of Carol Starfelt, so that'd be ideal. And then with Greg Taylor just gives you that balance in the defence as well. And he's another midfielder. He will be playing more as a midfielder in this game coming into the middle of the park. So yeah, I think the defence does sort of pick itself, and Joe Hart will be in goals. You just know that'll be the case. And a chance for him to get another trophy in a glittering career, you would say, and a sort of renaissance in his career at Celtic. But to get potentially 5 trophies in 2 years for Joe Hart, he must be thinking he's in dreamland.
Yeah, I think he's spoken many times about how much he enjoys it, and I think the Celtic supporters have loved having him there, giving them some scary moments at times, but yeah, his experience has been absolutely critical and vital for what Ange has built in the 2 seasons that he's been there. Kaiser, same team as Aberdeen except Maeda for Abada in his opinion.
I would agree with that, yeah.
I think everybody's going along those lines. I think all of our predicted 11s could be the same, unless it's the big Kyogo debate for myself. And I'm going to say young Ryan. You take young Ryan every time, don't you? But,
I'll take it while I still can, Tony. I'll take it while I still can.
Or do I just call you Ryan and drop the young?
That's right.
I guess everybody's young to me, aren't they? There you go.
Yeah.
Now, Ryan, Celtic have a habit of turning up at Hampden and winning Scottish Cup finals. They are the record holders in terms of the club that's won it the most times. And tomorrow will be particularly special should it go their way. And that's no disrespect to Inverness, and a lot of people are saying 10-0 and all that. I'm like you, a bit more tempered with that kind of reality, you know. Cup finals very rarely work out with double digits, and I can understand why they're saying that because of Cali's build up to it. They haven't played in 3 weeks and they might be rusty, etc., etc. But tomorrow is shaping up to be one of those days that will live long in the memory. Certainly in Ange's reign, you know, and they've had a few of them. Let's say that, you know. So tomorrow, he's been solely focused on that, and that's been his kind of focus of attention. As I say, everything else is background noise. But will we get an indication first kind of 10-15 minutes as to what will happen or what's been said to the players ahead of this game? If once they kind of line up and then once they get out there, will the first 10 or 15 minutes be critical in your opinion and form anything in your mind?
Yeah, I don't think we'll see a fast start from Inverness because I don't think they'll have I don't want to say they'll have the ability to do that against us, but you expect Celtic to come out and be on the front foot early doors. I think they'll be really, really up for it. I think you'll see us go hell for leather, to be honest. I think they'll be wanting to get this over as a contest as soon as possible. Wouldn't be surprised if they score in the opening 5-10 minutes. If we can get a couple of goals in 20 minutes, then I think that'll really settle the nerves, and then I think there'll be a party atmosphere if that's the case. So I think the gravity of the situation will sort of hit the fans, and they'll realise just how special a day it is. You're just hoping that's best case scenario. Obviously, if they don't get an early goal, then they don't need to panic. I'm sure Celtic will get plenty of chances in the game to sort of sort of take the lead or consolidate the lead if they do get one. But yeah, that's one of those ones. If they don't get an early goal soon, then they just need to be patient and they need to just hope that Inverness will crack at some point, because we'll get guys that can score goals all over the park. It's a really, really strong team in that regard. The goals get distributed quite well throughout the team. You've got wingers that score goals in the same rate as strikers, you would say. You look at Jota's goal contributions this season. Even Abada, who's been in and out of the team, his goal numbers are good. It could be a game for one of our midfielders to really come alive in terms of goals. It'd be great to see someone like Matt O'Reilly or Rio Hatate score a goal in a final at Hampden. I don't think either of them actually have scored at Hampden yet. No, they haven't. So it'd be great for one of those two to score. Obviously, we've got our high-profile players: Jota, Abada, Maeda, Kyogo, O. I mean, even just saying that, the amount of firepower that Celtic have got at their disposal, the credit's got to be given to both the manager and the people that have recruited these players, because it's a real potent strike force, and you'd expect people like that on the pitch to do damage, especially against a lower league side.
Yes, I totally concur, and I think Matt O'Reilly's had his chances at Hampden. I'm thinking particularly the League Cup final against Rangers, where he had a couple of chances to kind of settle the issue, didn't he, and put it beyond any reasonable doubt, but went for that instead of power, and McGregor made a couple of saves. So yeah, I think it could be one of those days where the midfielders maybe come to the fore and get in amongst the goals. O'Reilly and Hatate, I'm looking to in particular. Maybe McGregor. McGregor loves a goal at Hampden. He's no stranger to hitting a strike and finals and semi-final goals. So seeing McGregor ping them in. So yeah.
Scored arguably one of my favourite goals at Hampden. That sort of one where he passed it into the net against Rangers. It's one of the most aesthetically pleasing goals I've ever seen. And it looks like it's got no.
Yeah.
It just sort of bristles the net. It's a gorgeous goal, an absolutely gorgeous goal.
It's just the simplicity of it, to be fair, isn't it? That it's a cracking piece of football, and then it gave it the finish that it deserved. Patrick McLaughlin comes in 7-0 for the British Cup final record. Lots of this chat going on. Patrick McLaughlin says Celtic hold it with 7-1, obviously. 1957 League Cup final, if you know your history, of course. Biggest, highest aggregate score in a British Cup final. Celtic 7, Rangers 1. You know, there's lots of this talk, Ryan. I'm kind of okay. I can't. Ange is the one that says let fans, you can never dampen their enthusiasm. They're entitled to their opinion. That's fine. If that's what they think it will be, genuinely think that it will be 10-0, then that's fine. But I guess it's a kind of measure of how Celtic have done under Ange, isn't it? That they are thinking that, and it's not a conceit of themselves. It's just what they're seeing and the standard of opposition tomorrow. But
I'm under sorry.
You said you have to earn the right to win them. You need to respect them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the fans, I'll always make this point, I'll always underline this point. Fans are allowed to dream, fans are allowed to overreact, because that's the joy of football. They're allowed to speculate. That's half the fun when it comes to football. It's all about bragging rights and that at the end of the day. But as players, as long as that doesn't filter through to the dressing room and to the manager's office, as long as they stay grounded and they know the job that they've got to do, and as long as they can stay grounded in that respect, then I'm absolutely fine with the fans sort of making these predictions, because it's exciting at the end of the day. These are the moments that you, as sad as it sounds, these are the moments that you live for. You look forward to these cup finals. You're allowed to get excited and overreact and overestimate results, because that's just because we love our club. It's just a joy, you know, to talk about them, and the fact that we can offer some sort of validity to these outrageous scorelines shows how good Celtic are at this point in time. We truly are in a great place with regards to Celtic, and as I always say, long may it continue.
Yeah, guys, we're the best team in the country. If Celtic turn up, play to their capabilities, they dominate, no sweat. I think a lot of Celtic supporters wouldn't disagree with that. Hopefully we'll battle them tomorrow and see them lift the cup. I think so. You know, and that's my kind of. I'm always cautious about talking words like battle them and all that. You know, I think Celtic play, then there's only one outcome, really, isn't there? I think we're all fairly on board with that. I think we're fairly on board with who they think will be starting, I think the biggest dilemma is the O or Kyogo, and Stephen Cassidy said it's a word that I'm fond of using. Somebody's going to get an Inverness clack the cudding. Yes, lots of Celtic supporters are saying that the forum book points to Celtic dishing out an Inverness clack the cudding tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes, Ryan. Excuse me. Just hope it's a cracking spectacle for the Celtic fans watching at home and who'll be there despite the 5:30 kick-off, Ryan. We happy about that?
I'm not too bothered about it. I mean, I know it's more of a pain for Inverness fans coming down and then they'll need to get that train back up. The train that they've probably been overcharged for. It's got to see, that's a different topic. Yeah, for me, it's for me watching the football, it's absolutely fine. 5:30, you know, I'd watch an English game at 5:30. So, you know, watching a Celtic game even more so. I'm totally fine with it. It is a shame. I mean, a 3:00 kick-off, ideally that would be better. That is the sort of thing that you just know. You know what happens, unfortunately, with the broadcasters. The English game is always going to be broadcast over the Scottish game, and it's an annoying but truthful sort of statement. It's always going to happen. It's just I mean, if there is one sort of consolation, it means you get to watch both games back to back, unless one goes to extra time, etc. But yeah, it's 5:30. It's just another kick-off time, you know. I always like Champions League games that are on at 8:00, so 5:30 is just in the middle. I'm quite fine with it.
Now, more comments coming in and predictions. I'll read them out, guys. Derek Crawford, let's be honest, it'll be 10 men camped in the 18-yard box and Marquis dusting down the famous headline, Super Celtic, go ballistic, Callier, atrocious, double figures, please. He's asking for Chilpil, morning Chilpil, how you doing? Inverness will park the bus. Pete McGee, morning Pete. If we start like Celtic start like they did against Aberdeen, it'll be a cricket.
Agreed.
And David Ferguson saying they're only getting 41-1 for 7-0. Says it all really. Again, if you're gambling, bet responsibly. If that's something that you fancy, 7-0, 40-1, or 41-1, whatever price it is, that's fair enough. Batter in, hammer into that if you want, Ryan. 7-0
responsibly.
Indeed. If that's a bang and you think 41's a good price for 7-0, as I say, cup finals are really those kind of scores, aren't they, Ryan? You know, so it's, we shall see. But I think one thing that's coming across in all the comments is Celtic fans are confident, aren't they?
Yeah, I think we'd be confident against anyone, to be fair. I think that's just the optimism before a game. And I'm sure we'll be optimistic during the game as well. These things, as I say, they always take care of themselves. But we've got everything going against us. The team's back playing on good form. If you take the last game into consideration, it was a real return to form, a 5-0 game. Aberdeen couldn't register a shot, never mind a shot on target. It was one of the most dominating games. I'd take the same on Saturday, thank you very much. If Inverness can't register a shot or anything, then that would be absolutely ideal. But yeah, it's one of those games. If Celtic turn up and play the way that we know that they can play, then they'll do the business. If they turn up and play half as well as they've done against Aberdeen, I think they'll do the business. They know what they have to do. They just need to go to Hampden. They need to enjoy the occasion, enjoy the ceremony that Ange says that comes around the sort of spectacle. But just get the job done. Get the job done, and then you can enjoy the celebrations later and enjoy the celebrations over the summer.
Yep, Marco Tech saying the players will explode. It could be a Marling, Jerry Smith, another Dundee United. 9-0. And obviously David Ferguson's across everything. He's saying it's 350-1 for 10-0. Bet responsibly. That's all I'll say. If you really do think that's going to be the score, Alan Wood, Celtic, Man U double, whatever the best odds are. Maybe, and Marky says maybe Hart thrown up front to grab one if it turns into a cricket score. I'd love to see Hart for a corner at some point.
I've seen a clip of him recently striking the ball. He's actually got quite a good shot on him as well. You'd expect that though, because he can kick the ball really far. So I didn't expect him to have that accuracy maybe, but the power was definitely there. You knew the power was there, but it was impressive to see him nestle it into the top bins.
Narcotic. Oh, hat-trick, he's saying.
Oh, I would love that.
Yes, that's you're predicting that O might start, aren't you, Ryan? Possibly.
Yeah, there's a spoiler. I think I probably will put him up front.
And people going on the Joe Hart, let Hart take a penalty, and Kaiser saying Big Joe to score a diving header. That was a thing, wouldn't it? A diving header. So there you go. And what's the odds on a Hart goal, Mark? He's saying it'll be quite big. I would have thought. Don't have them to hand right now. But I think Rory Grant coming in here. Where's Rory's comment? Yep. If we play the same against Aberdeen, we will get double digits like 10-0. What's that, Ryan? Are you on board with that? You said 5-0, didn't you? You were kind of half of that. You'd settle for half of that, didn't you?
Yeah, I'd take half of that. And there was people that I was talking to last night that were saying 3-0, 3-1, or giving Inverness a goal. I was like, that's a bit too close for me. You've got to. I know it's a cup final. I know we're playing against a team that's in the Championship. I've mentioned that a couple of times. I feel quite bad talking about them like that, but it is the truth. At the end of the day, they didn't even make the playoffs in their respective league. They've not played in 28 days. There's a lot of factors going against them, unfortunately, for their sake. But yeah, I don't think it'll be a 10-0 game. I mean, that's incredible to even say that, to be in that sort of situation. But yeah, I think it'll be comfortable, but not that comfortable.
Yeah. Beach Boys, Celtic over 4.5 goals, and Man U both needs to score. There you go. Hazel Finn coming in 5-2, coming to mind. She'll go with that.
It's a bit too close again.
We'd all settle for anyone, but we can dream. There you go.
That's what I was saying earlier. We're allowed to dream. We're allowed to speculate. We're the Celtic supporters at the end of the day. As long as that doesn't filter through to the dressing room, then that's fine. But judging by Alistair Johnston's comments yesterday, it definitely doesn't. It's all noise. He does hear the noise, but it doesn't filter through, or it doesn't affect training in any sort of way, which is great to hear and refreshing.
I thought Alistair Johnston's comments yesterday were superb, to be honest. I know you hate this phrase, don't you? But he just kind of gets it, and he gets it big time, and he's grasped onto it pretty quickly, hasn't he? And he just kind of knows, and he's got this uncanny knack of also saying stuff that the Celtic supporters want to hear, but you don't get the impression that he's just paying lip service. You actually believe it when he's saying it, because he just seems so focused and driven, and a few space of a short few months, he became a kind of cult hero, hasn't he, amongst the Celtic supporters?
Yeah, I think I'd go one further. I think if he stayed long enough, he could be a captain. I think he's just got that sort of leadership quality. It seems as if he's much like O, which is a January signing. It seems as if these guys have really acclimatised well. They seem to get friends all over if you go by their social medias, of course, it seems as if they're out almost every day with a new group of players, which is absolutely brilliant to see. Yeah, Alistair Johnston, he's unfiltered, but I think that's why we love him. He can talk the talk and walk the walk. He can do both in equal measure. He's a really, really good player. Hope you're on mute.
There's a big difference there, isn't there, about talk the talk and walk the walk, but he can certainly do both. Yes, Marty AJ has a press eating out his hand. Hazel Finn, AJ's a big asset. She loves him. And I think there's a comment from Kaiser as well. I think AJ was amazing in the press event, so articulate. A credit to his parents for raising such a fine young man. Yeah, he certainly comes across very well whenever he sits down and does his duty.
Yeah, I actually have had the pleasure of meeting him in person as well, and he couldn't be nicer. He's one of the nicest sort of football players I've met. So yeah, credit to him. He's got time for absolutely everybody, and he'll stop and have a chat with you. So he's a player that the Celtic fans and the Celtic, everyone involved with Celtic, can be proud of having in their team.
Yep, AJ and Matt O'Reilly were both brilliant yesterday, says Derek Crawford. Yeah, I think everybody is on board with Alistair Johnston. Maybe didn't know too much about him before the World Cup, but certainly know a lot about him now, don't they?
That was an incredible sort of development when Croatia were playing Canada. All of a sudden, we had our current our current right back playing against our future right back. It was mental. I was like, who do we, as Celtic fans, who do we support here? Because you wanted Juranovic to get the best sort of value. Yes, it didn't turn out to really make a difference in terms of his value, but Alistair Johnston was playing. I remember seeing that press conference and he was asked about Celtic. And I hope he's not a poker player, because he's got no poker face whatsoever. You couldn't draw a bigger smile on him. If you were to Photoshop a smile on Alistair Johnston, you wouldn't be able to, because he's done the work for us. He's just a character. And Ange says that he signs people as well as players. You can see that with Alistair Johnston. He would have probably got about 5 words in that phone call when he was on the phone to Alistair Johnston. But I think he's definitely a fan of him, and the Celtic support and everybody that watch Celtic or sort of having a leaning towards Celtic are fans of Alistair Johnston.
Yeah, I think, as you say, from the moment that big cheesy grin lit up the room when he was asked about the Celtic link, I think the Celtic supporters got on board with him, because he wanted to be part of the project, and so far he has delivered, and then some, since he came, and he's made a big difference to that defence. And you saw it last week, or the week, we saw it when he came back into the side on Saturday there, and the week before when he was missing. There was a big difference, wasn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see it's just with regards to having a better player in the team. There's no disrespect to Anthony Ralston. He's had a good career resurgence at Celtic, but the proof is in the pudding. And when the two play, I think that's the biggest credit you can probably give to Alistair Johnston. The fact that nobody complains when he's in the starting lineup, and there was that when Juranovic was in the team. There was people that wanted Ralston ahead of Juranovic. Maybe that's a failing of Juranovic of this season, that he couldn't get to the levels that we knew he could get to last season. But there's no debate anymore. When Alistair Johnston's fit, Alistair Johnston plays, and that's a credit to him that he's done so well.
A bit like Kyogo, Ryan. Is that right?
If he's fit, he plays. Yeah, absolutely. I would totally subscribe to that. It's the same for players like Jota, same for Hatate, Carter Vickers. There's players that just play. If you know they're fit, they play. Obviously, Cal McGregor as well. He's a captain. He's always going to play. But there's players that are not but I wouldn't call them Ange favourites, but they're just needed in the team. In order to get a good result, they're needed in the team.
Tam Mack coming in again with piling on the agony, putting on the style, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, scoring all the while. I think that's what a lot of people are hoping for tomorrow, and certainly are predicting will happen tomorrow. But there you go. Okay, are we going to go predictions, Ryan? Are you sticking with your 5, or are you
5-0?
5-0 Celtic, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this tradition is I either go 1 below or 1 above, don't I? It's just one of them. I'll go 4. But a totally dominant 4. Yeah. But it wouldn't surprise me if it's higher than your own prediction. But yeah, I just think the conditions are there for Celtic to win the world record 8th domestic treble in style, and I think the players will certainly want to do that. The manager will certainly do that. It's been his focus. But Curtis, 8-0 for the 8th treble, says Curtis. 6-0 says Jerry Smith. First goal scorer, says David Ferguson. Who do we think is going to score the first goal? Easy, I'll go Kyogo. Ellen Feek says 6-0.
I'll go for Hatate for the first goal.
Number 8 to score a hat-trick, says Patrick McLaughlin. I'd like that.
Take it.
All about the 8s. Yeah, that's what he's saying. 5-2, but not betting. Responsibility. Well done, Hazel.
Yeah.
Good to see Jerry Smith Jota on the first goal. And none of this pessimistic 10 nonsense as Michael was. Now the Celts. Jerry Raw 4-0 for me. I'm on that, Jerry, at 4-0. Have a great day, boys and girls. Bring on the 8th treble. Chris Murray. Jota for David Ferguson for the first goal. Yep, indeed. Guys, if you're going along tomorrow to Hampden, enjoy it. 5:30 kickoff. All roads lead to Mount Florida, don't they? A world 8th domestic treble for Celtic, should they win. the Scottish Cup against Inverness. 5-0, says Chris Murray. Starfelt first goal, says Robert Wallace. And there you go. 4-2 after a shock 2-0 come from behind, says Edward Ryan was. That's too close. That's just your reaction there. Otis scored the winner, says B. David Ferguson. We all know it's going to be a coop and busting 9-0. Patrick McLaughlin 7-0. Diogo. Confidence abound. You can understand all of that, can't you? I guess, as you say, 5:30. It's looking like it might be Hampden in the sun, Ryan. Here's hoping that Celtic can turn it on and maybe replicate a performance that suits those kind of lyrics. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Hampden in the sunset. I don't know if that will have the same ring to it, but it's a 5:30. Good conditions. Hopefully, I don't think there'll be any rain or anything like that. It'll just be mild weather. Hopefully, they can go out and put a smile on our faces.
Hail, hail the treble chasing champion, says Michael Ross. Indeed, Alan was get them hammered. Patrick McLaughlin will stick with these 7. Guys, enjoy your day tomorrow. And if you're in the vicinity of the press area and you see my good self, introduce yourself, say hello, be good to talk to you and see you. And yeah, and if you're around there, you'll see me. I'll be there doing the do, as they say, and doing the bit. And here's hoping. It's always result dependent, Ryan. Weekends are always result dependent. It's the last weekend of the season. Hope Celtic can finish it with a flourish and knock off the 3rd piece of silverware for the season, Ryan.
Yeah, not too bad. That wouldn't be too bad at all. Fingers crossed that is the case, and we'll be smiling on the briefing on Monday morning. That's what I'm hoping. We can be on a
happy Monday.
We can, happy Monday. Well, depends on what the sort of developments are, but we're not talking about that today. But it's just we need to focus on the here and now. We've got a treble to win. Let's go out and do it.
5 out of 6. Ange's chasing. Let's see what happens. Guys, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the sun. Enjoy the weather. Ryan, thanks for your contribution. First class, as always. Thank you for all the comments. Love talking about the actual game today. Again, background noise. We're not ignoring it. We just thought we would focus on the football and get some positivity around the club that you love. And speaking of that, if you enjoyed today, why not subscribe to the Celtic Way website and sign up for unlimited access for everything that appears on the website. And you can do that and support top quality football journalism, which we'll endeavour to provide, covering the club you love in the process. And it's all for the click of a button. www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. Enjoy the Scottish Cup Final. It's always great to be in the Scottish Cup Final. Take it easy, guys. We shall see you on Monday. Thank you, Ryan.
Cheers.